This channel is for educational purposes, and it reflects 20 years of my experience as a holistic wellness practitioner. It is not medical advice. Please work with your own healthcare provider for the diagnosis and treatment of any condition. Now, let's get into it. You know the feeling. It's a Tuesday in the middle of the month, and you feel fine. Digestion is easy, energy is decent, and your stomach is just quiet, doing its job without making itself known. Then 10 days later, same kitchen, same tea, same breakfast you've eaten 100 times, and something is off. You're bloated before noon. You feel heavier than you did last week. Maybe you're constipated, or maybe the opposite. You haven't eaten anything unusual. You haven't been under any particular stress. Nothing has changed, except that it's now the week before your period. If this pattern sounds familiar, I want you to know something. You are not imagining it. You are not more sensitive than other women. You are not developing a new food intolerance every month. What you are experiencing is a real, measurable, physiological shift, and it has a name. Your hormones are running your gut, and once you understand how, everything starts to make sense. I'm Lisa McCall. I've spent the last 20 years working with women on gut health, hormonal balance, and whole body wellness. And one of the questions I hear most consistently, across ages, across backgrounds, across every type of digestive issue, is some version of this. Why does my gut seem to have a mind of its own, and why does it change throughout the month? Today we're going to answer that fully. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your hormones affect your digestion at each phase of your cycle, why this creates predictable patterns of bloating, constipation, and irregularity, and, most importantly, what you can actually do about it. Let's start at the beginning. Your menstrual cycle is not just a reproductive event. It is a full-body hormonal conversation, and your gut is one of the most active participants in that conversation. To understand why, we need to look briefly at the two hormones that drive your cycle, estrogen and progesterone. These two don't stay constant. They rise and fall in a precise rhythm across roughly 4 weeks, and every time they shift, your gut feels it. Here's the simplified version. In the first half of your cycle, roughly days 1 through 14, estrogen is rising. This is the follicular phase, ending around ovulation. During this time, most women notice that their digestion is relatively smooth. Estrogen has a generally supportive effect on the gut lining. Motility, the movement of food through your digestive tract, tends to be consistent. Many women feel their best during this window, digestively speaking. Then ovulation happens, and the second half of your cycle begins. This is where things get interesting, and for many women, uncomfortable. After ovulation, progesterone rises. Progesterone is essential. It's the hormone that prepares the uterine lining for a potential pregnancy. But progesterone has a secondary effect that most women are never told about. It slows everything down. Progesterone is a smooth muscle relaxant, and your digestive tract is made of smooth muscle. So when progesterone rises in the second half of your cycle, the luteal phase, gut motility slows. Food moves through your system more slowly. Transit time increases. The result for many women is constipation, bloating, and a general sense of sluggishness in the gut that has nothing to do with what they ate. This is one of the most consistent patterns I see in practice. A woman will come to me convinced she has a gluten problem, or a dairy problem, or some mysterious new sensitivity because her symptoms seem to appear and disappear unpredictably. When we map her symptoms to her cycle, the picture becomes clear immediately. The bloating isn't random, it's luteal. Now, what about when your period actually arrives? At the onset of menstruation, both estrogen and progesterone drop, the uterus begins to contract, and here, a different set of compounds enters the picture: prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are inflammatory signaling molecules released when your uterine lining sheds. They trigger the uterine contractions that cause cramping. But prostaglandins don't stay neatly contained to the uterus. They can also stimulate contractions in the smooth muscle of the bowel. This is why many women experience diarrhea, urgency, or loose stools at the very start of their period. It is not a digestive problem. It is a prostaglandin response, and it is entirely normal, even if no one has ever explained it to you. So to summarize what we've just covered, in the first half of your cycle, digestion tends to be easier. In the luteal phase, the 10 to 14 days before your period, progesterone slows the gut, causing constipation and bloating. And at the onset of menstruation, prostaglandins can briefly accelerate bowel activity, causing looser stools. This is not a disease, it is a cycle, and once you can see it, you can work with it. But there's one more layer I want to introduce, because it goes deeper than most people know. Most women understand that hormones affect the gut. Far fewer know that the relationship runs in the other direction as well. Your gut also affects your hormones. There is a specific community of bacteria in your gut microbiome, a subset with a particular job, called the estrobolome. The estrobolome is responsible for metabolizing estrogen. Specifically, it produces an enzyme called beta-glucuronidase, which helps regulate how much estrogen gets reabsorbed into circulation versus how much gets eliminated from the body. When the estrobolome is in balance, this process works smoothly. Estrogen is processed, the right amount is recirculated, and the excess is cleared. When the gut microbiome is out of balance, a state called dysbiosis, the estrobolome is disrupted. Beta-glucuronidase activity can become either too high or too low. If it's too high, too much estrogen gets reabsorbed. Circulating estrogen levels rise beyond where they should be, and this shows up as intensified PMS symptoms, heavier periods, more severe bloating, and over time can contribute to conditions like endometriosis. If it's too low, estrogen is cleared too aggressively. This can contribute to hormonal deficiency symptoms, low mood, and irregular cycles. What disrupts the estrobolome? Several things that are very common in modern life. Antibiotics, which can significantly alter the gut microbiome with even a single course. Hormonal birth control. Chronic stress. A diet low in fiber and high in processed food. I go into much more depth on the estrobolome in Chapter 5 of my book, The Women's Gut Health Bible. But the core idea to hold on to here is this: your gut health and your hormonal health are not separate conversations. They are the same conversation, and what you do for one, you do for the other. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Ashley. She was 27 when she first came to see me. She was fit, relatively healthy, ate well by most definitions, and she was completely bewildered by what happened to her body every month in the week before her period. The bloating was severe enough that she'd stopped making plans. She'd turned down social invitations because she knew she'd feel terrible. She'd gone to her doctor, who ran standard tests, found nothing wrong, and told her she might want to try reducing her stress. That answer didn't sit right with her, and rightly so. When we sat down and mapped her symptoms against her cycle, the picture was immediate. Every single episode, the bloating, the discomfort, the constipation, fell in days 19 through 28, without exception. The timing was so consistent it was almost mathematical. Ashley didn't have a mysterious condition. She had a progesterone response that was hitting her particularly hard, likely compounded by a microbiome that wasn't supporting her estrogen metabolism efficiently. We didn't overhaul her life. We made targeted changes. We adjusted what she was eating in the luteal phase. We added a fermented food daily to support her microbiome. We looked at her stress levels because cortisol affects gut motility too, and she was in a high-pressure job. And we paid attention to her fiber intake, which was lower than it should have been. Within 2 cycles, she noticed a difference. Within 4, the severe bloating episodes had largely stopped. She hadn't fixed a broken gut. She had learned to work with her cycle instead of being blindsided by it. Here is the most common mistake I see women make when they're dealing with cycle-linked gut symptoms. They go on an elimination diet. They cut gluten, then dairy, then FODMAPs, then eggs, then nightshades. They spend months removing things from their diet and tracking reactions, and the pattern stays confusing because the same food seems fine one week and problematic the next. The reason for that confusion is the thing we just discussed. It is not the food. It is the hormonal context in which the food is being digested. Your gut in the follicular phase is a different environment from your gut in the luteal phase. Motility is different. Microbiome composition actually shifts slightly. The inflammatory tone is different. Evaluating a food's effect on your body without accounting for where you are in your cycle is like trying to navigate without knowing which direction you're facing. I'm not saying elimination diets are never useful. They can be. But if your symptoms are strongly cycle correlated, starting with your cycle, not your food, is the more intelligent first step. The second thing most people get wrong is treating luteal bloating as something to fix rather than something to support. Progesterone-driven slowing is not a malfunction. It is your body doing exactly what it is designed to do in preparation for a potential pregnancy. The goal is not to override it. The goal is to make it more comfortable through what you eat, how you move, and how you support your microbiome during that window. Now let's get specific. Here are the shifts that make the most consistent difference for the women I work with. In your follicular phase, from the first day of your period through ovulation, your digestion is generally more resilient. This is a good time to introduce new foods, eat a wider variety of plants, and experiment with fermented foods if you're building that habit. Your gut is more adaptable during this window. Aim for diversity. The research is clear that eating a wide range of plant foods, the target most practitioners use is 30 different plants per week, is one of the strongest things you can do for microbiome health. The follicular phase is when this is easiest. In your luteal phase, the 2 weeks before your period, your focus shifts. The single most important thing you can do during this phase is increase your soluble fiber. Soluble fiber, found in oats, flaxseed, cooked sweet potato, pears, and legumes, helps compensate for the slowing of gut motility that progesterone causes. It adds bulk and moisture to the stool, making transit easier even when the pace has slowed. Reduce salt. Water retention is already higher in the luteal phase due to hormonal shifts. Salt amplifies bloating significantly. Reduce alcohol. Alcohol disrupts the gut microbiome and increases intestinal permeability. And in the luteal phase, your gut lining is already under slightly more inflammatory pressure. Reduce carbonation. It seems small, but the extra gas from carbonated drinks combined with already slowed motility creates a noticeably uncomfortable effect for many women. Increase magnesium. Magnesium is a gentle, natural support for gut motility. It draws water into the colon and helps keep things moving. Magnesium-rich foods include dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, and dark chocolate. A magnesium glycinate supplement in the luteal phase is something I recommend frequently in practice. Always check with your own provider before adding supplements. At the onset of your period, when prostaglandins are at their peak, focus on anti-inflammatory foods. Omega-3 fatty acids from oily fish, Walnuts or flaxseed can help moderate the inflammatory response. Ginger tea is a simple, accessible option that has genuine evidence behind it for reducing prostaglandin-driven cramping. If diarrhea or urgency is a consistent issue at the start of your period, avoid high FODMAP foods during those first 2 to 3 days. Onion, garlic, apples, and legumes, which can amplify loose stools in an already active bowel environment. And across the entire cycle, the daily habit that moves the needle most consistently is this: 1 serving of fermented food every day. Yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, any of these. You don't need all of them. You need one consistently. A diverse and resilient microbiome, which fermented foods support, is the foundation that makes every other recommendation work better. Your cycle and your gut are in constant conversation. Progesterone slows your digestion in the second half of the month. Prostaglandins accelerated at the start, and your gut bacteria are quietly influencing how your estrogen behaves, which feeds back into how your cycle feels. None of this is mysterious. None of it is untreatable, and none of it means something is wrong with you. What it means is that your body is doing something remarkably precise, and it has been, every month, trying to tell you something. Learning that language is where everything changes. Your next step, if you want to take just one thing from today, is this. For your next 2 cycles, track your gut symptoms alongside your cycle phase. Not obsessively, just a quick note each day, where you are in your cycle and how your digestion felt. Patterns will emerge, and once you can see the pattern, you can work with it. If you want to go deeper on the hormonal gut connection, including the estrobolome, perimenopause, and how to eat for each phase in more detail, Chapter 5 of the Women's Gut Health Bible covers all of it. The link is in the description. Next week, we're going one level further, into the estrobolome specifically, and what it means when the bacteria that process your estrogen aren't working the way they should. It's a topic that most women have never heard of, and it explains a lot. I'll see you there.